everybody, I'm here with a video. Today we're going to be covering the multi-day severe threat once again, and we're going to be taking a look at the excessive rainfall outlook and the rain, because as you all know, Invest 91L is coming into the USA, and it's going to be bringing some pretty heavy rainfall to portions of the South. So, on my screen I have the severe weather threat for today. You can see pretty broad slight risk is here today. It got pushed farther to the south. I think this morning from yesterday, because yesterday was only up here, but now it's farther to the south. Now you got portions of Missouri, Indiana, Illinois, Kentucky, Tennessee, even some parts of northeast Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, and Virginia. Some spots have slight risks. Indianapolis, Charlotte, North Carolina, Raleigh, North Carolina, St. Louis, Missouri, and Cincinnati, Ohio. Slight risks. Asheville, North Carolina, too. Greenville, North Carolina, Spartanburg, North Carolina, Raleigh. I already said that. And then there's also a pretty big marginal risk once again, going all the way from Texas over through most of Georgia, a lot of Kansas, Missouri, Iowa, Illinois, Indiana, Missouri, Ohio, and PA, and Pennsylvania, and New Jersey. A large marginal risk. There's also a secondary marginal risk where there's going to be a lot of heavy rainfall in Louisiana and Texas and by Houston. In the marginal risk, you have Houston, Philadelphia, Detroit, Columbus, and Baltimore, Maryland. So that's the marginal risk for today. Not a large tornado threat, but tornadoes are possible in Missouri, Illinois, Indiana, and Ohio especially, and maybe in parts in North Carolina and Virginia. And there could be a brief spin-up tornado in southern Texas and southwestern Louisiana. There could be a brief spin-up. Maybe Houston. It's looking like the wind threat will probably be the most significant. You can see pretty much exactly where the slight risk is. There's a 15% chance of a wind threat of damaging winds. That goes all the way from Illinois, Indiana, parts of Missouri, Kentucky, Tennessee, South Carolina, Virginia, and Georgia and North Carolina. There's a 15% chance of damaging winds there. I'm not going to circle that. Then we have a 5% risk, where the Invest 91L is starting to bring a lot of precipitation towards Houston, down there 5%. And then western Texas, New Mexico, Colorado, Kansas, Oklahoma, Iowa, Illinois, Indiana, Tennessee, and other parts of Georgia, Pennsylvania, Ohio, Michigan, and Delaware. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry, y'all. This is not my computer. This is just a website. My computer never does this. But, Maryland and Delaware, you all have 5% risks of 5% risk of damaging winds. Let's move on to hail. So the hail threat of 1 inch in diameter within 25 miles of a point is 15%, pretty much in the slight risk in Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, Virginia, Kentucky, Tennessee, Indiana, Ohio, Illinois, and Missouri, 15%. And there's another large 5% risk with the marginal threat in Texas, New Mexico, Colorado, Kansas, Oklahoma, Missouri, Iowa, Illinois, parts of Indiana, Michigan, Ohio, West Virginia, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Delaware, Maryland, and other parts of coastal North Carolina and South Carolina. And you all have 5% risks in pretty much the same cities with the marginal threats. But I should briefly show y'all the day 2 and day 3 outlooks, because for tomorrow there's I don't really see this much, but unusually western slight risk. You don't really much see a western slight risk in Montana, Idaho, and western Wyoming. That's kind of odd, but setting up that way. So tomorrow there is 2 slight risks. One has parts of Idaho, Wyoming, and Montana in it. And there's another slight risk. It just has parts of coastal Texas in it, down by Brownsville. And there's two marginal risks. One in Montana, Idaho, parts of Nevada, parts of Utah, part in Wyoming. And the second one has Texas and parts of Texas and Louisiana in it. Now let's go to day 3. The weather kind of settles down on day 3. You only have a slight risk in parts of South Dakota, North Dakota, and Montana, but you still have a marginal risk along the coast. That could bring in some thunderstorms in Tennessee, Mississippi, even parts maybe towards Mobile, Alabama, and Texas. And so now I want to show you all the excessive rain outlook, which is right here. So this is the excessive rainfall outlook for today, which is Wednesday. The Weather Prediction Center issued a high risk of excessive rainfall in parts or in southwestern Louisiana and southeastern Texas by Houston. High risk, and there's a moderate risk kind of surrounding that in the same areas. And you have two slight risks for excessive rainfall. One in Kentucky, Ohio, and West Virginia. There's one right there. There's that one, and there's another one in Texas, Arkansas, Mississippi, Alabama, and Louisiana. Then you have a pretty large marginal risk that kind of has the whole eastern seaboard in it, because you never know, you could get stuck under a thunderstorm, a scattered storm that brings a lot of excessive rainfall that could bring some flash flooding. And these spots in this area do not need any more rain, especially by the Arkansas River and in the Missouri River along Illinois. You do not need any more rain. So this could bring more rain. And you see the Missouri River has a marginal risk of excessive rainfall, so that could not be good. All right. Day 2, it goes down to a moderate risk in Louisiana and Mississippi. And then you have a slight risk in parts of Oklahoma. Look at this, the Arkansas River, it's flooding in Little Rock and Tulsa, and then you have a slight risk for excessive rainfall tomorrow, which is Thursday. So this could really intensify the flooding in some of these areas. And Alabama, Georgia, Alabama, South Carolina, even Tennessee do need some rain. But this this probably will get parts of Georgia out of the drought that they're in. But this could still make them flash flood. Some of these areas by Atlanta and Athens could get like 3 to 5, over towards Huntsville 3 to 5 inches, maybe. So it's kind of, you never know. You could get 6 inches. It could happen, but now there's 2 marginal risks: one in Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas, Missouri, Indiana or Illinois, Kentucky, Tennessee, North Carolina, South Carolina, and Georgia tomorrow on Thursday. And then I'll show y'all the day 3. On the day 3 outlook for Friday, the slight risk is moving slightly to the east and a little bit north. You can see now you have Missouri, Tennessee, Arkansas, still Louisiana, all of Mississippi. Some of it's in the panhandles are in the moderate risk, but most of Mississippi, most of Alabama, and half of Georgia, you have slight risks. And then the marginal risk, still some parts of Texas, Oklahoma, Missouri, Kentucky, Tennessee, Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina, and Georgia. You have a marginal risk. And there's also a slight marginal risk for flooding up in Montana, Wyoming, and Idaho, and North Carolina. Sorry. All right. So now I'll show y'all some of the rainfall in these areas. Let me switch this. Okay. All right. I'm going to show y'all the rainfall. All right. So this is the rainfall by Tuesday. Look at some of these areas along the Missouri River. Maybe a half to 1 inch of unneeded rainfall that could fall fast and flood the rivers. That could definitely make the flooding more significant. There's a word, I just couldn't find it. All right, and then look at this rain by Little Rock where it's flooding still. 2 inches, maybe 3 and maybe 4 inches of rain. That's not good, but it looks like the bulk of the heavy rainfall may be here in Tennessee, Mississippi, Alabama, and Georgia, and maybe even Florida. There could be almost 6 inches in some parts of Georgia. Look at this. In this area, that's a lot of rainfall. And along the Florida coast, right there. Excuse me. That could. There probably will be some flooding. It could be significant because this system does not really leave the coast until probably like Monday or Tuesday. But that's gonna wrap up this video. Thank y'all for watching, and please subscribe to my channel. It would really help me. And yes.